let's move on. Let's go back to Fiorina and a piece you wrote for Dame. And sorry to be bringing this up because I know you're sick to death of talking about Planned Parenthood.
But at least I'm not talking about Trump.
Yeah, so exactly. So the question being that you wrote for Dame is, can Carly Fiorina actually ride Planned Parenthood to the nomination and to the presidency? What do you think?
I have a theory, and my theory is that I do believe that Carly Fiorina is going to be on the ticket. I would not be shocked if Carly Fiorina is the endorsed candidate. She is going to be on the ticket. I would not be surprised at all. And actually, I said months ago that I thought she would be the vice presidential pick. I do actually think that Fiorina might end up being the GOP candidate, and I think this for two reasons. First of all, the GOP, the Tea Party faction, who is getting really enthused about this election, does not want a politician. And so without a politician, you have three choices. You have Donald Trump, you have Ben Carson, you have Carly Fiorina. Trump and Carson, I think, are both too damaged. Fiorina is the one non-establishment candidate that the establishment can completely control. And watching how she has embraced the Planned Parenthood controversy, watching how she has continued to move it forward, and the way that she has mouthpieced everything that comes from Susan B. Anthony list, Americans United for Life, all of those groups, she can be that GOP spokesperson. Trump is not going to follow what people tell him to say. Ben Carson, for some reason, I mean, I have no doubt that he's extraordinarily intelligent, but he gets lost in talking points. He confused the RU-486 with emergency contraception not so long ago. He went off talking points on heartbeats. He can't follow the talking points, so they can't guarantee that he will do exactly what they say. Fiorina will do that. Fiorina will follow exactly what the GOP tells her to do. So I see her as this compromise when they realize they cannot get an establishment candidate through the primaries, that she is the closest thing that they can have to having somebody who is not a politician but will still do everything they say.
That's an interesting theory. I wonder, though, for both Carly Fiorina and for Ben Carson, can the GOP voters, the base voters, get beyond their racism and their sexism? I could see them, either of them potentially being like a vice presidential candidate, but when you go down to all of these states, when the people whose policies are so racist and so sexist, can you really, I'm not sure if I can really see them pulling the primary ballot for either of those people.
I can. And actually, Fiorina is on quite an upswing. She's up to, I think in the last polling that they did, she's coming in at 30% for first or second choice, which is really amazing. That's the NBC stuff that came out this morning or yesterday. So she is definitely moving forward in the primaries in an upswing that none of the other candidates have right now. Trump has kind of topped off. I think that he may still stay on top, but I don't think that he's going to continue to gain. And what's happening is nobody who won't pick him for a first choice sees him as anybody that they would ever vote for. So yeah, like I said, it's all of these elements work together to make her the compromise candidate between the outsider and the GOP establishment. What will happen in a general and what will happen down the road is, yes, there is a large mass of the GOP that is racist and sexist, but the people who are most inclined to be racist and sexist are the people who are also most inclined not to ever vote for a Democrat under any circumstances. So I think that their utter fear, and all they need to do is stoke the flames of fear and say, you know, look what would happen if a Democrat is elected. I think that they will turn out and they would much rather have a Republican woman or a Republican black man than they would any Democrat in office.
That's probably true, but again, and who knows, maybe it'll play out that way. The more whenever I talk about this, I always like remembering the last election where literally everybody led for like a month. You know, Newt Gingrich was in first place. Herman Cain was in first place. Michelle Bachmann was in first place. They all were in first place for like, a week or two. And then they got vetted and then they went away. And then eventually they settled on the establishment, which was Romney. here, it's sort of weird looking at Trump of how he is being vetted. I mean, literally everything the man says is out there. I don't believe there's some sort of like smoking gun that's going to make the 30% who really like Trump go, oh, wait, I don't like Trump. So it's one of those things where like Trump seems a little bit Teflon, at least among that 30. And in a lot of places early on in these primaries, 30 is enough to actually win the first 3 or 4 states at least.
I don't. So here's my theory, because I love theories. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to find it difficult to find a path where Trump can win Iowa. Because I do see that he's doing really, really well. Obviously, he's doing really, really well in polling, but this is a caucus state.
Right.
And
you need ground troops. You need people actually getting people to come to the actual caucus itself.
He should, if he gets his people to come to the caucus, I have less fear because obviously the people who support Trump are some of the most stubborn, pig-headed people I've ever heard of. And that's how you win a caucus, is basically by outlasting everybody else and out-talking everybody else in order to get your delegate seat so that your candidate will get through. But I don't think that the same people who say, yes, I support Trump in Iowa are the same people who will actually bother to work their way all the way through a caucus process.